The next one is a 3-receiver smash concept, and I know that there's nothing crazy here that maybe some people haven't seen. I just think it's kind of underrated. You see a lot of two by two smash or smash with a post, and I really think, as a high-low option, this version of smash, particularly with the switch between the 2 and the 3 receiver, can create some advantages. So if you're looking at this against zone, obviously you're going to try and stop the wall player from getting out by running this inside hook, okay, and then influence this halfback, okay, and try and get your horizontal stretch on the halfback or your vertical stretch on the corner. And where I really like it against man is especially when you run this switch. Usually this Sam is going to be inside leverage, and whether it's the straight up version or with the switch, and oftentimes the switch can kind of play with that leverage. And now you're going to get that corner rope back against their leverage, which can be really tough in man-to-man coverage for that Sam linebacker. And the last one is 4 verticals. We've talked about my kind of preferred version of 4 verticals, and I made some of these diagrams with those as templates. But the traditional CFL 4 verts, where you've got some kind of underneath route and then 4 vertical routes. We'll talk about a few different ways to do that I think are high school friendly, and allow, again, people to throw the ball downfield, whether it's second and long, or even 1st and 10, you're just taking a shot, or second and short and you're taking a shot. I think having a way for your quarterback to throw the ball down the field obviously is important. And what I think you'll take away from this is it's not always about hitting the vertical. It's about giving your receiver some options. So we talked about this before, the idea of a read seam, where basically your quarterback's going to go pre-snap. If we have 2-on-2, we like it, we'll play it. If we get pressure, like we'll see in one clip, is a great way to get the ball out of your quarterback's hands, having some kind of quick game over here. Okay. And then especially if we're getting cover 3, right, we're going to pull out the high players on either side with these outside verticals, and we're going to isolate the free safety. If we get some kind of cover 4, we're going to give this number 2 receiver the option to run a bender, where they're now going to bend underneath that field hash side coverage. And we can still make, in some cases, a 12, 14, 16-yard completion before the yak, even against cover 4 with that bender. So those are the concepts we're going to take a look at. I'm going to pull up my screen here, and we'll get to some of the film. Like I've said, it really helps us out if you throw a like on the video. It goes a long way towards more people finding it. Pretty good about your opportunities. Okay, here's the three player smash. So you see it with the switch here, and I know there's a fair amount of motion going on that gets some movement from the front, and you can't always guarantee that. Okay, but if you look at number 1 here, right, with that switch motion, you're going to get this a lot in cover 1, this kind of like IO posture, where number 1 or the inside player here is going to take the first inside breaking route, and the outside player is going to take the first outside breaking route. So here, our inside breaking route is going to become a corner. And when we sit down here, we get a really clear read. Are we going to dive down on it, opening up the space for the corner? Or are we going to stay soft, opening up the space for us to throw a nice layup out here to the stops? Here we get the drive down. So we know, hey, we're going to have high side leverage on this corner. Throw it skinny. One broken tackle away from a touchdown there. But again, because it's in the boundary, I think it's a really good way for high school programs to take shots. And again, if you look at this, from a variety of looks, if this is, if the half's low and the corner's off and you're getting some kind of zone, you have your kind of layup quick game out here, right? If you want to run it with the straight hooks, you're going to get the same look. You can also run it with the walk down and just switch the outside too. There's a million different ways you can dress up this concept. And I think it's just a tough look for cover 1, cover 3 teams to defend. All right, 4 verts. And this will be one I know gets a fair amount of attention and lots of looks. And we've talked about a couple different ways to run 4 verts on this channel before. But I thought it was, again, if we're talking about 5 things, that I think all teams should have a way to do, you got to have a way to throw the ball vertically down the field. Can't always be play action, can't always be RPO. You got to have some element of drop back passing that's going to threaten you down the field. And what I think the key to a vertical passing game is your quarterback feeling comfortable with non-vertical options. That's going to get them to actually go through their reads instead of just chucking it to your best receiver, which, there are times you want that. There are times you want to isolate those one-on-one matchups. But if that receiver is not in a great matchup, or if that receiver, isn't in a leverage position based on the coverage, you don't always want your quarterback just taking, their best player on the deep shot. You want them to be able to work through a progression in a way that gives them options against a variety of coverages. So you're going to see a few things here. On the back side of this, we're going to get, the four verts part is going to come from the wideouts. Okay. And then the field slot and the field number 3 attacking those traditional 4 vertical windows in the seams. Okay, on the backside, you're going to get this kind of quick game option. So you can see here, if I stop it, here's our 4 verticals. And we'll talk about a few things here. But number one, the other thing you want to have is, where am I going to go as a quarterback if there's pressure, right? All these concepts are great until you get heated up and you need to go somewhere with the football. And so I think another thing I like about a variety of these CFL 4 verts looks is you have your opportunity to go deep, but you also have your hots built in. You're not just relying on the protection holding up. So you're going to see often on the back side, okay, of a 3x2 set, when the team's running 4 verticals, you're going to see a variety of quick games. It might be corner, slant drag or bang. It might be like we have here, fade out. It could be double stops. There's a lot you can do, but you want to have something for the quarterback to take if you get pressure. So we do get pressure here, and we have an option to go to right away. Quarterback feels comfortable. It makes a good throw, right? Yeah, we didn't get a chance to take that chunk shot that we want down the field, but we made a safe throw, gives our player an opportunity to make a play with the ball in their hands. So let's talk about the actual vertical portion of this. So if we had a little more time to read this out, and there's obviously one high safety here, this just looks like cover 1. Okay, you're going to get, in most 4 verticals, you're going to get your outside 2 vert runners. You could argue the quarterback could take a pre-snap shot here. We've got, this guy's already in trail, being able to take that vertical shot. You could, tough throw. What you really want to see is anyone defending the boundary hash mark. That's what we're going to try and hit first with this kind of over post. It's very similar to the American Y cross, a little bit deeper with the waggle here. In Canada, we can get a little further down the field. And so you'll see one of the keys is the route running here from the H receiver. He's trying to step on the toes. We want to get underneath the Sam. If the Sam's backing off this far, we can't keep going outside of him. All right, we can then just get to our landmark on the opposite hash. And this is a pretty good one, about 15 yards in that opposite hash. So you could argue, as this quarterback, we could stand in, try and drill this throw on the opposite hash. And as this receiver here, it's clear to us, hey, this player is backing up. We're never going to get on top of that. And so you'll see him start to look inside here on a post. You can really bend into that space, get your chin to your shoulder, and try and find that space on your hash. And we'll get to a few examples of that here. So again, here it's like a bit of a spacing concept, swing the back. They're going to try and run the under with a little pick route to hold the will. And then we're threatening opposite hash and field side hash. So again, you see here this, again, we talk about having options before the sticks. This player sees, hey, I'm never going to get on top. I'm capped, to steal some R4 terminology. So now I'm going to get my chin to my shoulder. I'm going to bend into this space. The only player left is this halfback who's being occupied by the first post. And again, you're able to get the throw you want down the field into that window.